Kenny Omega wins AEW International title. Revolution, Kenny Omega wins the AEW International title, his first belt ever after the return. During Revolution, Kenny Omega defeated Konosuke Takeshita to win the title of AEW International Champion. As the most recent chapter in their story, which began when they were both competitors in DDT Pro Wrestling 13 years ago, Omega was vying for Takeshita's championship as his 8th title defense in 149 days as champion. After defeating Takeshita at All Out 2023, Omega was yet to pin Takeshita in singles play, but he called his shot after pinning her at AEW Grand Slam Australia, while teamed up with Will Ospreay against him and Kyle Fletcher. The champion began the fight by working the challenger with rest holds and accurate but limbering movements to break up Omega's light-footed offensive. Early on, Takeshita jawed with the referee, throwing off right hands before scuttling back behind the desk. Don Callis, Takeshita's manager seated at commentary, got involved. To the loud ire of the audience, Omega fought out of an effort to throw Takeshita through it and toppled it over as he attempted to bring a table to the contest. Omega utilized a series of V-triggers to get the upper hand back in the ring, but Takeshita used his own momentum against him and caught him in a blue thunderbomb. He would rejoin the battle and search for the one-winged angel, but Takeshita would break free and seek for one of his own before Omega finally made his getaway once again. After that, Omega continued to hit V-triggers, with the exception of a brief time in which Takeshita struck several of his own, before attempting to strike the one-winged angel. Callis grabbed Takeshita to stop him from rising, but Omega threw him away. Omega won the roll-up exchange that followed, guaranteeing the victory and the championship. With the exception of the TNT and Continental Championships, Omega is currently the only man in AEW to have won the World, International, Tag Team and Trios Championships. Revolution 2025, Kenny Omega creates history by winning the AEW International title. AEW News. In addition to becoming your new international champion, Kenny Omega has secured a place in the annals of AEW history with the conclusion of AEW Revolution 2025. After a great back-and-forth fight last night, Omega defeated Konosuke Takeshita to unseat Takeshita as the AEW International Champion. Takeshita's 148-day run as the International title champion came to an end after Kenny used a crucific pin in a bout packed of big techniques and finishes. Regarding the history created by the Best Bout Machine, Kenny Omega is now considered the first Grand Slam champion in AEW history as a result of his victory in the International Championship. Naturally, this comes after the Canadian's tenure as the AEW World Champion, as a member of the Young Bucks AEW Trios Champions, and as half of the AEW Tag Team Champions with Hangman Adam Page. Takeshita had to earn a chance against the challenger as the International Champion, thus the path to this point may have been a little convoluted, but the match fulfilled many expectations. With that, it seems like Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada, the AEW Continental Champion, will collide later this year. Regarding Omega vs. Okada, there have been rumors that these two bitter rivals would square off in a winner-take-all unification match at AEW All-In July. According to those rumors, AEW wants to combine the international and continental titles, and who better to have in the ring than Kenny and Kazuchika to do that? The International Championship. In the almost 3-year history of the title, Konosuke Takeshita's tenure as AEW International Champion is the second longest at 148 days. In a triple threat that also included Ricochet, Takeshita defeated Will Ospreay at WrestleDream last October to win the international title. Before losing the gold to Kenny Omega last night, the incredibly gifted Japanese star successfully defended that title 8 times in the 5 months that have passed. She defeated Josh Alexander, TJP, Ricochet, Powerhouse Hobbs, Shingo Takagi, Tomohiro Ishii, Katsuyori Shibata, and Orange Cassidy. With an amazing 326-day reign from October 2022 to September 2023, Orange Cassidy holds the record for the longest tenure as the AEW International Champion. OC retained the title through the international name change until losing it to Jon Moxley at All Out 2023. Freshly Squeezed beat the first champion PAC back when the championship was known as the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Kenny Omega captures another AEW championship. Kenny Omega, who won big at Revolution, is the new champion in AEW and has a busy summer ahead of him. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay defeated Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita at AEW Grand Slam Australia, continuing their feud with the Don Callis family. Following the fight, Omega focused on capturing Takeshita's international title, and on March 9th, Will Ospreay challenged Fletcher to a steel cage showdown at Revolution. Though a series was held, giving Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong the opportunity to fight Takeshita before Ospreay, the AEW international title picture wasn't a simple one. After winning, Cassidy went on to compete for the gold, but Takeshita advanced to meet Omega at Revolution. Kenny Omega wins fourth different AEW title. Takeshita and Omega engaged in a fierce battle in Los Angeles as both fighters countered each other's final maneuvers. Ultimately, Kenny Omega won the AEW International Championship for the first time after trapping the champion in a crucifix pin. Together with his victories at the AEW World Tag Team and Trios Championships, Omega has now won 4 distinct AEW titles. On Sunday, AEW made a triumphant return to Los Angeles with a packed schedule of bouts for their Revolution event. Cope and Jon Moxley were on the AEW World Championship bout card. After beating Cope, Moxley continued his 4th term as champion. In the 6 years of the organization's existence, it is the most of any wrestler. Swerve Strickland defeated Ricochet to establish himself as the top contender for the world title.